You wanna hot body? You want a Bugatti? You want a Maserati? You better work, bitch. You want a Lamborghini? Sip martinis, look hot in a bikini. You better work, bitch. You wanna live fancy, live in a big mansion, party in France? You better work, bitch. You better work, bitch. You better work, bitch. You better work, bitch. Now get to work, bitch. Now get to work, bitch.
My name's Tater, and this is my time. My name's Tater, and I'm doing just fine. My name's Tater, and I love to climb up on things. Hey guys, looky. It's me, Tater, and my friend Kim is gonna do her solo show. She's gonna do the greatest trick in the world. She is gonna transform into a couple of different people that she thinks are really cool in the next 30 minutes. Maybe. I don't know how long yet. So get ready. 'Cause it's Tater time.
It won't be the sort of thing you have in mind. This man is a gentleman, and he respects me. What he wants is my companionship. Having great wealth sometimes makes people lonely. A cultivated woman, a woman of intelligence and breeding, can enrich a man's life immeasurably. I have these things to offer, and this doesn't take them away. Physical beauty is passing, a transitory possession, but beauty of the mind and richness of the spirit and tenderness of the heart, and I have all those things, aren't taken away but grow, increase with the years. How strange that I should be called a destitute woman when I have all these treasures locked in my heart. I consider myself to be a very, very rich woman. But I have been foolish, casting my pearls before swine. Yes, swine. Swine. And I'm not only thinking of you, but your friend, Mr. Mitchell. He came here to see me tonight. He dared come here in his work clothes and to repeat slander to me, vicious stories that he had gotten from you. I gave him his walking papers. But then he came back. He returned with a box of roses to beg my forgiveness. He implored my forgiveness. But some things are not forgivable. Deliberate cruelty is not forgivable. It is the one unforgivable thing in my opinion, and it is the one thing of which I have never been guilty. And so I said to him, I told him, thank you. But it was foolish of me to think we could ever adapt ourselves to each other. Our ways of life are too different. Our attitudes and our backgrounds are incompatible. So farewell, my friend. And let there be no hard feelings.
You say you want diamonds and ring of gold. You say you want.
This was only gonna be for a short time. I don't even say goodbye to her. I just come to make some money. My friend brings me, finds me job. I was buying everything, huge boxes. I was mailing money. Then I get blamed for stealing, and this is the way they talk to me here. Like I am small life. Everything I do is what I'm supposed. I work, I send money. It's what I'm supposed. They pay me less my money and goodbye. I go to bar that night. I don't know why. And this man and can he sit? When all your life, when people think you are so small, can you imagine when somebody hears you? I talk all night. I feel whole place. I feel like I can belong anywhere I want. And for one night, 1 hour, I cannot be ignored. I meet another and another. They was married, old, young. I don't care. I should care. Because one night I choose wrong one. Her one. My friend, she helped bring me over and I did not care. Everything I do is what I'm supposed. I work, I send money, I do what I'm supposed. I send my family everything, but I need to feel like I'm something. She throws me out and tells everybody everything. Best place I can find is here, this basement. Here was cheap and no one knows me. My family thinks I'm just having fun. They bury my mother without even telling me because they think I don't care. I'm having fun. I call. They don't answer. What can I do? If I go back with nothing, then what was this all for? What was worth all this time? To miss so much their life. I can't go back till I get for her something. Something. I did my best I could. Do you believe me? Do you believe I did my best I could?
One summer evening, drunk to hell, I sat there nearly lifeless. An old man in the corner sang where the water lilies grow, and on the jukebox Johnny sang about a thing called love. And it's how are you, kid, and what's your name, and how'd you bloody know? In blood and death, 'neath a screaming sky, I lay down on the ground, and the arms and legs of other men were scattered all around. Some cursed, some prayed, then cursed, then prayed, then bled.
The one and only time I ever wore a white lace frock, Arthur, was for me first communion. And me mother parades me down the road to get me photo took, and she says to the photographer, "Isn't our Sandra a picture? Won't she make a beautiful bride?" And I told her I was never gonna get married. And she got all dewy-eyed because she thought I wanted to be a nun. A bride of Christ, or 40 years hard labour. My mother thinks anything in between is a mortal sin. She married a big child like you, Arthur. And what did it get her? 8 kids. And 20 years cooking, cleaning and surviving on grants and handouts. You're too much like me dad for comfort. Full of big plans that'll never come to nothing because you're too soft and you're too easygoing, and having all that money won't make you any different. Whatever your da and the rest of your ones don't steal from you, the world will. They'll eat you alive. You know what the big trick in this life is? It's knowing what you don't want. And I don't want to become a backseat joyrider, content to sit and giggle while the fellas in the front do the stealing and the driving. I stole a car all by myself once. Never told nobody about it. Knowing it was enough. I just drove round them posh streets in South Belfast till it ran out of petrol. Then I walked home. Didn't need to boast about it the way the fellas do. Just doing it was enough. When the careers officer came to our school, he asked me what I wanted to do, and I told him I want to ride around in big cars and rob banks, like your woman at the Bonnie and Clyde. And he thought I was taking a hand at him. So he says, "Alright then, I'll settle for being a racing driver." And he says, "I'd advise you to settle for something a little less fantastic, Sandra. They're all the same. First they ask you what you want to be, then they tell you what you're allowed to be. Me wanting to be a racing driver's no different than Maureen believing in fairy stories. Dilly daydreams, just like her mother before her. Somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds die." If Jesus Christ walked into this room right now and didn't follow what I was talking about, does that mean he's not intelligent? No. It means he lives in Nazareth and doesn't have a TV. Take some pride in yourself, Joel. Think you can tell your children you accomplished. I mean, anyone who can keep a farm going 10, 12, 14 years like you have. And I'm not talking about my kind of farm in South Carolina where there's a TJ Maxx. I'm talking about your kind of farm. 14 cows. That's more than I have anymore. And 100 years from now, when there's an apocalypse and everybody's dying from cancer, from hormones and Monsanto GMO bullshit, your great-grandkids are going to look up at your picture. They're going to say, he did things right. That's the kind of people we come from. And second of all, Joel, can I just say something for once? I resent you acting like I'm some sort of normal beauty queen and that I've coasted through life like a debutante. Like, granted, yeah, you've got your hang-ups, but my childhood, speaking of cows. Did you see your cousin fuck a cow, Joel? Did you see your cousin fuck a cow? Because I did. And it was traumatizing at a formative time in my life. But am I up here being sensitive and squirrely and withholding of sex because of a traumatizing barn incident? No. Never. I would never do that to someone. Especially on her last night of singles and agriculture. I got the hell over it. So there was this little kid, see this creepy little fucker who lived next door. Had glasses and something wrong with his foot. I don't know. 7, maybe. Anyhow, every time this kid's daddy would go fishing, he'd bring him back home some frogs. They built this little fence around him in the backyard like they was pets or something. And we'd try to go over and see him, but then he'd start screaming for his mother to come out and get rid of us. Real snotty-like. So, one day we got tired of him being such a goody-goody. Me and June snuck over and put all his dumb old frogs in a sack. You never heard such a fuss. Slimy bastards, frogs. We was planning on just letting them go all over the place, but when they started jumping and all, we just figured they was asking for it. So, we taken them out front to the porch and throwed them one at a time into the street. Some of them hit cars going by, but most of them just got squashed, runned over. It was great. Seeing how far we could throw them back over our backs and under our legs. And God, it was so much fun watching them fly through the air and then splat! Right all over somebody's car window or something. Then the next day, we was waiting, and this little kid comes out in his backyard looking for his stupid frogs, and he don't see any. So he gets so crazy, crying and everything. So me and June goes over, and we tell him we seen this big old mess out in the street. So he goes out, and he sees them dumb old frog legs and bodies and shit all over everywhere. And man, it was so funny. I never had so much fun in one day in my whole life.
Looky, it's me, Tater again.
This next part was my idea. It's Kim's lightning round. She's gonna do a Shakespeare monologue with 8 different dialects that her friends are gonna call out to her at random. And while this is happening, people who love her, also my friends, are gonna throw trash at her. And she cannot falter. She has to have trash thrown and go switch to switch to switch to switch unknowingly. So get ready for the lightning round. And here we go.
You wanna hot body? You wanna Bugatti? You wanna Maserati? You better work, bitch.
Oh, hateful hands, to tear such loving words, injurious wasps, to feed on such sweet honey and kill the bees that yield it with your stings. I'll kiss each several paper for amends.
Cockney.
Look, here is writ kind Julia. Unkind Julia, as in revenge of thy ingratitude, I throw thy name against the bruising stones, trampling contemptuously on thy disdain.
Polish.
And here is writ, love wounded Proteus. Poor wounded Niem, my bosom as a bed shall lodge thee, till thy wounds be truly healed. And thus I search it with a sovereign kiss.
RP.
But twice or thrice was Proteus written down. Be calm, good wind, blow not a word away, till I have found each letter in the letter,
Irish.
except mine own name, that some whirlwind bare into a ragged, fearful,
Estuary.
hanging rock, and threw its face into the raging sea.
Kentucky.
Lo, here in one line is his name twice read. Poor forlorn Proteus, passionate Proteus, to the sweet Julia.
Deep South.
That I'll tear away, and yet I will not. 'Tis so prettily he couples it to his complaining name.
French.
Thus will I fold them, one upon the other. Now kiss, embrace, content, do it you will.
Hi everyone, thank you so much for watching my solo show so far, especially that last very eclectic bit. This is not the end of my solo show though, so that's not what this is. Please don't turn your screens off. I'm talking in hushed tones so my roommates don't hear me. I really wanted this part to be a secret. I have one last trick to show you. I'll start off by saying this. The best thing about my time here at A.C.T. has been being part of the ensemble known as the Class of 2020. My classmates are extraordinary, amazing, talented, beautiful, exemplary artists and human beings who always encourage me to do my best work and constantly inspire me. And I've learned so much from them during my time here. I miss them all so much, and I really can't wait to be back in a room with them, and I hope that is very soon. But in the meantime, ever since I started thinking about my solo show at the end of my first year, I've always known that I wanted to do something to honor and thank them. So, I picked up pretty soon on that one of my classes' love languages, which is also one of my love languages, is gift giving. And I'm not talking about like very materialistic things like giving somebody a souvenir San Francisco cup from Starbucks, even though that's great and nice and lovely. I mean like doing little acts of kindness for one another, whether that be giving somebody a tiny piece of dark chocolate on a really bad day, or sending someone an encouraging text, or giving them a pat on the back, or writing them a little note after a show, or buying a cup of coffee, or going out for a drink. There are lots of different ways. I'm going to stop listing them now. But I've been thinking about this because coronavirus threw off my original plans for this part of my show, but I think I figured something out. I put a little something together for all of my classmates, and Tater has agreed to help give them to you. I just wanted to do something for you all to remind you that I will always be here to support you, to cheer you on, to talk out whatever you need to talk out, regardless of where we are and regardless of the state of the world. So, Tater very, very safely has delivered these little things to all of you. And she's put together a really sweet little montage so that you all know where to find them. And you can go outside and get them after my show. I love you all very, very much. I miss you, and I can't wait to see you again.
They made a statue of us and they put it on a mountain top. Now tourists come and stare at us, blow bubbles with their gum, take photographs of fun, have fun. They'll name a city after us and later say it's all our fault. Then they'll give us a talking to. Then they'll give us a talking to, 'cause they've got years of experience. We're living in a den of thieves, rummaging for answers in the pages. We're living in a den of thieves, and it's contagious, and it's contagious, and it's contagious, and it's contagious. We wear our scarves just like the news, but not 'cause we want eternal sleep. And though our parts are slightly used, new ones are slave labor you can keep. Den of thieves, rummaging for answers in the pages. Den of thieves, and it's contagious, and it's contagious, and it's contagious,
half a mile, keep left at the fork to stay on California 24 West.